We all have drywall that needs to be repaired. Whether it's kids swinging the doors way too hard, puncturing through the drywall, or maybe your crazy drunk ex decided to put their fist through the wall. And you probably avoided repairing it strictly because nobody's ever taught you. It can be an intimidating process. Well, today I'm gonna show you 5 different ways to repair drywall that you could do today. Let's get started. We'll be going over 5 different methods based on the hole size that needs to be repaired. And we'll be ranking them from the scale of 1 to 10 of how easily approachable they are. And for a bonus feature, I'll show you how to repair drywall that's beyond patchwork. So we have a perfectly good hole here. And the way we're gonna repair it was one of the most approachable DIY applications where you simply just buy a patch at the store. These patches are very approachable for anybody to pick up. Sometimes they even sell an entire kit where you get not only the patch in different sizes that you decide to get the kit, but you also get the putty knife and the actual compound that goes the mud essentially around. To get started, it couldn't be easier. Just take it out of the box, peel back the backing. It has a metal mesh in the middle of it. This is plastic or fiber essentially, and this is just your kind of galvanized looking steel. Put that right over, stick it on right there. Our goal here is gonna be to fill this puppy and making sure all of our mud is gonna stay on this drywall patch. Now me personally, I'm not a huge fan of those pink kits. I don't like the little mud knife that they have. It's plastic. It sucks to use. The mud is only like this much. It's great for a small little hole, but not for a bunch of fixes. So I usually just buy regular old mud compound in a bucket because it's already pre-mixed. I'll get myself a metal drywall knife, but here's the thing. This stuff has been sitting on the shelf, God knows for how long. So all the good stuff has been kind of settling down, kind of like paint when you buy it. You want to mix it up. So I'll just use a little paddle mixer here, give it a few swirls, get everything nice and mixed, and you'll be surprised how much more fluid this stuff really becomes as opposed to looking like, I don't know, clay? That's a little too much. There we go. Get it on there nice and deep, boy. You don't need to go nuts with this. Just get it all blended up. It's already looking moist. Some drywallers will actually put a little bit of Dawn dish detergent in there or a little bit of water. It'll mix it up. The dish detergent makes it a lot smoother and slicker on your drywall knife, and the water really just kind of dilutes it. So lawn dish detergent works a lot better. And I think I saw somebody uses Windex, but I'm not too sure if I'm thinking of the right thing. Tray here, throw a little bit on there. Make sure your drywall knife is always clean. That's why you can't do those on those plastic ones. They glue up and gunk out so fast. And then what you want to do is start spreading it. Doesn't matter how, left to right, top to bottom, who cares? Building stuff can be intimidating and difficult, so we need to find places where we can just simplify things. Simplify things, understand things. Then, after you got a good amount on there, you want to start working its way out in a circle to blend it. Now, the reason why you want to do that is because this mesh sits higher than the finished drywall. So what we want to do is put a little bit more pressure on the outsides so we can blend it nicely. And then just control your pressure so that you can't see that mesh. By the way, I'll tell you exactly why this patch is steel reinforced down the middle. Because if you didn't have that steel mesh there, everything that we're putting on right now would start bubbling out this way because that would be heavier. So it'd be essentially pulling everything down. Get it clean again. We got a nice little covered area. This is gonna dry overnight. Then we're just gonna lightly sand it with 120 to 220 grit sandpaper, get it all blended. If you sand a little too much and the mesh is exposed, give it a nice light coat. As long as you don't see that mesh, you'll be ready for texture. In our situation, there's no texture, so we're just gonna wait till tomorrow, sand it, and then give it a roll of paint, and it should be great. I'm gonna give this a solid 9.5. Why? Because you could just walk in the store, buy this kit. They have them in different sizes. This is the smallest one, and I think one that's like a 12 by 12 is the biggest. However, it's not gonna be the strongest bond just because you have nothing but mesh and some thickness is probably pretty small of drywall mud in the middle of it. So basically, you're fixing the hole, but it's gonna be a weak spot. 9.5, I'm comfortable with that. Number 2 on the list is the double-sided tape trick. Now, that's the way I call it. I don't know the official name for it, but I recently learned it, and it's probably my favorite repairs. It's usually preferred on smaller holes like this, and here's how you start. First, get as much of this drywall compound inside the hole that you can. Like I mentioned earlier, if we put drywall tape over it, it's just gonna start oozing out and bubbling out on us and it's gonna suck. Then spread more mud around the area. You only need a few inches on each side. Next, you're gonna grab yourself some drywall tape. This is very inexpensive, usually like around $4 for a big old roll. You're gonna lay some covering the hole a few inches on top and the bottom. Now don't cut the whole tape off, double it in size and cut it off like that. Then you're gonna spread all that mud around it, and all the excess mud, you're gonna put it right over your tape. This is where the magic happens. We're gonna take the butt of our drywall knife and we're gonna press that hole in. Counterintuitive, right? I know. Then we're gonna take more mud and we're gonna start packing it inside that hole. Then all we're gonna do, tear off the excess and lay this right over top. Squeegee out the rest of it lightly, not too much, and then cover the tape all the way around. Like I said, this is my absolute favorite repair method. And because it's my favorite, it's gonna get a good ranking, however, not better than the last one. This is gonna be a 9.2. And the reason it's a 9.2 is strictly because of the hole size. We're strictly limited to the width of our drywall tape. But what's beautiful about this method is you can run and gun. If your landlord's like, hey, you gotta move out, but make sure you fix all the patched holes and stuff, you can come through with your mud and your trowel, start covering all the little holes with screw holes, and then for anything that has a big hole like that, you can use this double-sided tape trick. You won't have anything oozing out, it won't bubble up on you, and it'll be extremely strong. We probably have 3/8 of an inch of drywall mud in there, if not even close to 1/2 an inch, strictly based off of the stuff that we pushed in there, and 2 layers of tape that also have mud between them. Fantastic, fantastic tip to have in the back of your toolbox. Keep it in your pocket. Trust me, you'll love it as much as I do. One of the most important things when working with drywall is keeping your tools clean, specifically your drywall knives. It'll make it a far smoother application, which I just noticed. I wasn't doing a good job keeping my new shirt clean. This set, I'm trying to clean. Have you guys seen this area that I built? Dude, it's freaking my favorite part of my backyard. Now it's definitely a backyard oasis. I put a 300 square foot paver patio pad out here. Came out awesome. Got it matched with a nice smokeless fire pit. This puppy roars, but I did screw up on something. If you've seen that video or not, I built this cavity about 5 inches wide. And when it gets hot, it started to throw a few cracks. I have 3 along there. I'm gonna try to salvage it with Portland, Paris of, what are they called? Plaster of Paris. They use it on like blacksmithing kilns. That might insulate it, and then I could use Portland cement on the outside, and then maybe some stucco. But in hindsight, I should have just doubled up. But then I also made some sick Pottery Barn replica Adirondack chair, I guess, modern version Adirondack chairs. If you guys haven't seen them, go check them out. The videos came out awesome. I'm really proud of how this area works. Let's move on to drywall repair number 3. We're moving on to this little fake stage that I set up strictly because I didn't want to puncture more holes in my shop here. But this method I absolutely love because this is how I got started repairing drywall. This was my go-to method for the long time. So what we'll need is a scrap piece of wood here first. We need to create a nice clean area here. So let's get ourselves a square, and we're just gonna trace the absolute minimum amount that we need to take off. Then to make your life easier, use a drywall knife. These work great strictly because of how coarse these blades are. You could also use a multi-oscillating tool if you have one. That goes so much quicker than this. Ain't nobody got time for that. Not to mention, the oscillating tool is gonna get you cleaner lines. Our hole is cleaned up. Now we're just gonna take a scrap piece of wood that's gonna be able to stretch all the way across this section here, and we're just gonna put 1 screw in the middle of it. You're like, why are you doing that? Trust me, you'll get it. Then we're gonna get a little bit more drywall screws and have them on standby. We're gonna feed this through. While we're holding the screw in one hand, we're gonna put a couple of screws all the way around, securing the scrap piece in place. I shouldn't have used oak for a scrap piece. It's really tight. Trial number 2. You wanna go slow with this section because these screws have to be just below the paper. Don't let it puncture the paper or else it won't be as strong. Next up, grab a scrap piece of drywall and cut this exact shape out, as close as you can get. Maybe it's also a good time to show you how to cut drywall really easily. Grab yourself the top of the face, this is the back. Put a straight edge down, use a utility knife, and just create a quick little scorch. Then, snap it in half, flip it over, cut the backing off, get yourself a perfect piece. That's way too damn small. Oh, wrong piece. Perfect. Secure your piece to your backing piece. This piece of oak, don't use oak as your backing piece. It's a very dense wood. Use any kind of pine or MDF. I really hope you guys are enjoying these bloopers because I look like a damn fool right now. But hey, we're learning something together. Now, we get our drywall mud and tape. Start spreading it along all the seams with a little bit of excess. You don't want to catch yourself in a situation where the tape, any part of the tape, is not having any mud on it. So go more than less, let's put it that way. Put it right over in the middle of the seam. Run it flat. All right, at this point, we should have all of the seams taped up, a new piece of drywall on. Now comes the fun part. Blend everything. Anytime you're blending these things, you want to make sure your tape is completely covered, either like that, or worst case scenario, just slightly translucent. But the more you get it covered, the more room you have to sand and get a better finish without having another application. Boom, just like that, we got our patch done. What are we scoring it? 7.4. Reason why, there's a lot of steps that go into this that somebody might definitely feel intimidated on. You gotta cut the whole square, you gotta match the piece to go in there, you gotta do all this taping and blending. The blending, you gotta do a lot of it in order to not to see this hump when natural light hits it. But once it's dry, get it sanded, put the texture that's on your walls, you should be good to go. Before we move on to number 4, let me wash this real quick. And in the meantime, let me show you something really cool I just got for the house. All right, check this out. This is not just a regular iPad or anything like that. This is the Eufy Expert Secure system, and I just got it for my entire house. Look how cool this is. This is my shop. This is where we're just working. We can click on it. We can pan anywhere we want on this, move the camera around, right? It's powered with AI in it, right? So I can do like recognition. Instead of me searching through endless footage, I can find everything. So there is the SoloCam S320. The reason I went with it there is because there's no hard wiring. It has its own solar panel that's charging and directing the signal straight into my house. No running crazy wires. 360 view, no blind spots. I also have an indoor cam that, again, it just gets plugged into an outlet right behind here. I decided to put on my patio here just so I can watch if any of the kids get close to the pool or start messing with things that they tell me they didn't do. And look, as soon as I stepped onto here, it pulled it up right away and it's voiced that somebody is in front of that camera. Instant notification. I also have the video doorbell that's hooked up to my entire secure system. That way it sends a notification straight to my smart display way before I even need to get to the front door to look. It'll notify me there's somebody at the front door. I could see who it is and make a decision from there, whether or not I need to go answer it or not. But that's not all. It has an entryway alarm, a motion sensor alarm. They also have a smoke alarm, a flood and freeze alarm, and a key fob. My phone's blowing up with notification. Oh, somebody's calling. Hello?
Switch to home mode. The entry sensors.
Oh, Eufy Security just called me about an alarm going on in my house. That's crazy. It's an actual phone number. Look, there's 0 wires. There's 0 installation required. It's literally open, plug, and play. And it all goes to the professional Homebase S1. It has a 24-hour battery backup, so you don't have to worry about power loss. It has 32 gigabytes of built-in storage. It has real 24/7 monitoring. It has a keypad that you can arm, disarm quickly, it has an SOS panic button, and a covert duress alarm if you're trying to play it cool. Here's how I use it on a very daily practical application that makes my life so much easier. My kids are constantly in and out of the house, and I don't know which windows and doors are open. I'll get notifications whether on my smart display, on my phone, or through my app to know exactly what the situation is. When I leave out of town, and if we've got to turn off the stove, or maybe there is a door open or somebody broke in, I will get a live call from a real person to tell me what's going on. Not only that, but the Expert Secure will send video footage to the police dispatch to prioritize your call. Now that's when things do go wrong, but on the days that things do go right, I love the fact that when we're making dinner in the kitchen, we could see somebody on the doorbell. We don't have to leave the kitchen. We'll see if that's just an Amazon package that's being dropped off, or maybe it's another solicitor. And if something does go wrong, I'm able to log in through my app app or my video display and look up through their AI recognition to detect any kind of person around a particular time to display. It also recognizes family members so you can distinguish between somebody that you know and somebody that you don't know. The Expert Secure 24/7 monitoring is available in 34 other states. Eufy is currently running an incredible offer for the Expert Secure system. Click the link in the description. They have a deal running through October 31st, so you don't want to miss out. So protect yourself, protect your loved ones. Click the link in the description. Check out the Eufy Expert Secure E10 system. It is one of my favorite systems I've come across so far. Now, let's get back into this video. Let's go. We got our third patch. We're moving on to our fourth. So this one is similar to the first one, except you're skipping a few steps, but you have to earn them somewhere. You have the same hole size, roughly, and then you cut out a scrap piece, obviously after cleaning it up, just about 1 inch to 1.5 inches larger than your hole. And this is where it gets complicated. You then flip your drywall piece over. It helps if you have a straight edge like this. And what we're gonna do is create this silhouette of this hole squared out of the middle of this patch while creating the flaps around it. It sounds weird, but you'll get it when we get to it. This is probably the easiest way I learned to do it, is if you just draw it out first. Perfect. Then we're gonna take our utility knife and we're just going to start scorching here. I know it's on the back side, it looks weird, but trust me, you'll get it. When I first saw this, I thought like, the person that invented it is probably also the person that invented origami. So now that we got this done, just how silly it is, we got it done. We're gonna gently pry our sections open and gently peel off the drywall section while keeping the tape, the front tape, on. Keyword on gently. Thank God that worked. This would have been embarrassing if all of this started tearing them off. All right, clean that up a little bit more. This should be fine. Do our test fit. Start lathering on just the outsides of our frame here. In the words of Bob Ross, happy trees, but in our situation, happy mud. Beautiful mud. Happy mud. All we do is simply get it in place. Make sure it's flat, perfect. Push our wings, if you will, onto it. And then just like regular drywall tape, spread it out. Now I love this method. I think it's somewhat fun to actually do. Just because my OCD-ness allows for my brain to have a dopamine response from this. I go, that looks clean, that looks pretty. It's better than a hodgepodge of tape all over. There's less overlapping, so you don't have double-sided tape basically stacked on one another, creating a larger barrier. You don't have to blend this as much as this one. I mean, already it's looking so much nicer. God, I think this might be the nicest California patch I've ever made. That is just gorgeous. You know you're an adult when you're appreciating a good drywall patch. What are we gonna grade this? In terms of difficulty, this one is a 7-1. I was gonna give this one on the DIY scale a 6-8, but how easy and convenient it is. So if you like crafty kind of stuff, do this. So that's a hard one. Not a 6-8, I'll give it a 7. It earns a 7. It's baller, dude. It saves you so many steps. As long as you're precise with your cutting. That's final answer, 7. We've covered 4 drywall repairs so far. We're moving on to number 5. Now remember, after this, I'm gonna show you, if you're in a situation where drywall is beyond patchwork, I'm gonna show you exactly how to repair it. But let's tackle this. I don't know what this method is called. I saw it not too long ago on those fine home builders magazines, and it looks awesome. It had the potential of being probably one of the strongest patches, but I don't know. I've never tried it, so we're gonna try it together. Fair warning, this one's a little unorthodox. It caught me by surprise, but maybe you know it. So here's what they're starting with. We are gonna put drywall mud here, 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 and here. Then we're gonna create a bridge. Should have brought scissors. Whoop. There we go. This is kooky already. God, it's a beautiful day. Unfortunately, it's gonna be gone soon and it's gonna be nice and cold. But listen, I got a secret project that I've been working on that I haven't told anybody, except I'm promoting it and telling it to you guys right now. If you've been following me for any time at all, I've been doing YouTube since 2016. So for almost 10 years, I've made hundreds of YouTube videos with thousands, if not tens of thousands of YouTube comments. And there's no way I can respond and get to know all of you guys, the OGs, the people who are there from day one or really know what I do here. There's no way for me to interact with you guys. So that is why I created a private community. We're calling it the Builder's Lodge. Think of it like a clubhouse for 10-year-olds, except now we're 30s and 40s. This is gonna be a private community where you guys will have access to me. I will be on this private community that not just anybody can join. I'll respond to all of your questions. We will do weekly live streams in the shop. You'll see the behind the scenes. You'll see me planning the projects. I'll interact with you guys as I'm planning these projects. I'll take your insight on how I should do the next project to make it look even cooler. This will be a place where if you have questions on projects that you're working on, you can ask them there and I will respond, and other like-minded individuals, just like yourself, will chime in and give you their input. This is gonna be an awesome thing where you could interact with other people, you could network with other people, you come hang out with me. This is gonna be an absolute blast. I'll get to know you by your first name. You'll know more about me. This is a blast that I've been wanting to do for such a long time, and we're finally gonna be launching it. Our first live stream is gonna be Thursday, October 23rd at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time till 4 p.m. And you don't have to be there live. You can if you want to interact in the chat and do the hangout, or you could come and rewatch it later because all the recordings are still going to be there. Bottom line, I finally found a way how to thank you guys and how to give back to you guys for everything you guys done for me by watching and supporting all the things that I create. So scan this QR code. You'll see the landing page where you can sign up. October 23rd, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I will see you guys there. Now, let's get back into this video. Then we're gonna take our drywall piece that we already pre-cut, and we're gonna just gently set it in place here. And these strips of mesh are basically holding our piece in place. And then you can pull it back if you did it too much. Hopefully you don't have to, just because it's messy. So we already eliminated the step of adding blocking behind it. It's sitting flush right now with our existing wall, which is great. Now we cover our seams just like regular mud, but we're gonna use our mesh. Now mesh is awesome, specifically for when drywall walls expand and contract, whether it's cold or hot in your house. It actually limits the amount of cracking that happens. I've personally never had any kind of cracking from drywall in my house because I stay off of crack. But in case you're in those situations, this will help for sure. What a unique way. I'm not gonna say it's too weird, just because it makes sense, right? It's just something that's different that I can't believe I never thought of. We'll see how this goes. This might be my new favorite way. I don't know yet. It's too early to tell. I also like using mesh tape way more than paper tape, just because when you overlap them, they don't stick out as much. This is all in the name of science. Now we're gonna clean this up, make it all pretty. See what I mean? Keep your tools clean. Once they get gunked up like this, it's so hard to get a smooth finish. It's doable, but not ideal. Well, I'll be darned. I like that a lot. We're not using scraps. We're not messing around with screws. I was gonna say the F word. It's got great support. The mesh is holding the piece from falling back. I'm gonna argue this. I think this is by far, second to this probably, the strongest patch. No, actually, I think this one's stronger than this, because this is tape, this is mesh. Mesh is gonna trump tape all the time. Well, how easy is this? DIY-wise, easier than that, probably that. We said this was 7.4. You know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. That's an 8, it's a solid 8. I'm putting that one in my pocket as well. Man, that's awesome. So this is a prime situation where there's no point of patching anything because it's been patched a billion times. And if you're wondering where we're at, we are in my little man cave, if you will, or the dojo. This is one of the garages that I converted into half golf simulator room, half gym, which is a dream, to be honest with you. I had a similar setup in my last house. This is absolute perfection, where you can come in here, get your workout on, hit some balls, kind of be away. But with all the kids coming in here practicing golf, they've sliced the ball so many times. It didn't clear the enclosure, and the reason why, you could stand closer for sure, but if you think of where you're kind of standing, you can whack this thing. So we found that this distance is good, But what we're gonna have to do here is replace this drywall and possibly add a rubber mat. I don't know if you guys have any other solutions for that, for those rubber mats that won't look too ugly, but this is cool. We get to come in here. I have the actual turf that I scored on Facebook Marketplace. It was cool. I got it for, I don't know, like dirt cheap, maybe under 200 bucks, strictly because how expensive this stuff is. That's why it's dirt cheap. But it's got padding underneath here, so you don't really need like a hitting mat. You have rubber matting for the gym, which is a cool transition, a good impact screen. Built my own PC here, which is the first time I've ever done that. Boy, I'd rather build 10 decks in one weekend than build another PC. It's complicated stuff. I sound like an absolute moron when they're like, what kind of RAM are you using? I didn't know my computer needed RAM. But we'll come in here, let's see how we do here. I'm not good at all, but so maybe we'll do one of those rate my swings, or roast my swing, I guess. All right, let's see here. Don't embarrass yourself. maybe I was one of the victims of hitting the ball into the drywall too, the way I just hit that. All right, don't be embarrassed. Nobody's watching you. Clear your hips through. There we go. A slight little pull, but we can correct that. I felt better. Still a little pull. Well, if you guys have any advice for a young golfer like myself, how do I keep the ball from pulling to the left? I'm getting good yardage. That was a 7-iron, 172. My club face is only 1.2, which is great. My club path is 4.9. For all of you experts out there, let me know. How do I fix my swing? In the meantime, I'm gonna go fix my drywall. We're gonna cut out this section because it's a whole lot easier to float one section than it is to float 20 different pieces that have been punctured like this. So what I'm gonna do, and you can do a couple of different ways. You can either find a stud to start on and finish on, or you can put one of those little wood pieces like I showed you and accomplish the same thing. Let's go. Taking care of business every day. I can't tell you how long I've been thinking about doing this, finally repairing this patch. What a serendipitous moment. Slice and dice, baby, Ricky Bobby. That's like a gang of studs right there. This is where all the studs hang out. I was just thinking, watch it just cut the power and then turn this small project into a complete shit show. I wouldn't hold it past me. Unity. Let's see if we can pry it off. If I get this in one piece, I'm gonna be very happy. Well, technically it is one piece. It's the piece of the previous piece that was there. And it all goes to crap here. Already I'm noticing it's good that they insulated. Garages are nice when they're insulated. They're using 5/8 drywall. That's mostly all the time they use in garages. It's thicker, it has a sound dampening mechanism to it, but most importantly, it's fire resistant. So in case there's a fire in here, you at least have like, I don't know what they call like an hour time or something before it starts spreading to the rest of your house so you can safely get out. I'm gonna throw this out, put all these screws out. That's 11 screws in a section of 2.5, 3 feet. A little overkill if you ask me. All right, you've heard of tailgating and partying. I'm tailgating and working. Typically with the 5/8 drywall, it's not as flimsy as the typical 1/2-inch interior stuff. The corners don't have that much flex. Ideally, you wanna cut something in the middle of a drywall or in the middle of a stud, that way you can secure it. But in this situation, I'm just gonna be a little proactive. I'm gonna throw a couple of pieces along the sides just in case some things don't add up. We gotta give it the classic dad test. Yep, that ain't going nowhere. toy like a toiga. All right, y'all, I did not screw up on cutting this piece. Therefore, you should go buy one of my shirts. Mr. Builder, we have so many cool different designs. And to make life easier, while you're kicking your feet up, here's a QR code, go scan. It's the best way to support this channel. One of my guilty pleasures of watching stuff on TikTok or YouTube is people in the trade, specifically drywall, being an absolute savant with the trowel. So here's a little bit that I picked up. I don't know if this is gonna work, so this might be complete blooper reel. Put it on the corner here. Do that. It didn't work in one touch. Let me try that again. All right, that works a little bit better. Get it on the corner. Spread it. That was a little bit better. All right, and that's all there is to it. I'm gonna wait overnight. I'm gonna float it again, and then float it again, and give it a light, what do they call it? Skim coat to match the rest. Give it a paint. I'll be able to put this back in place. I'll be back in business. In the meantime, I'm gonna go finish some of the last of these tiny little holes and possibly head to Home Depot and get myself a big old rubberized mat for this, so it never happens again. Hope you guys found this helpful. Let me know which method was your favorite, and in the meantime, check out this video that I think you'll enjoy.